Hello friends, and welcome to today's video. Now, here's the deal. First of all, I posted part 1 like 2 days ago, right? We hope that's accurate given the timeline. It should be. I plan on posting this tomorrow in real time. So here's the deal. Part 1 just came out. I'm going to link it in the description so you can watch all those stages. This one is everything that I didn't cover in part 1. I realized I should have specified in case you didn't read the title, but we're going to talk about the SBS Gayo. However, first, it's complaint time again, okay? If you watched part 1, you're gonna kind of get this, and if you watched my Miracles in December video, you're gonna be confused. So here's the deal, okay? Once more, I'm not supposed to be here. What originally happened was that my flight, like this all happened in the last 24 hours, okay? So the original thing that happened was I was supposed to go to Disney, and then my flight got rebooked to the next day, aka today, and I was supposed to leave today. And then last night, my flight got rebooked again to tomorrow, at which point I would have flown a whole day to be in Disney for one day and then get on a plane at 6 a.m. the next day and fly all the way back. And I was just like, this isn't worth it for me. Like, I'm not going to sit on a plane all day to fly across the country to be at the Magic Kingdom for one day when, like, that's not worth it for me. And legally, fun fact, I learned this from my mother. This is good information for everyone to have. Apparently, if the airline changes your flight for you, they are legally required to give you a full cash refund. They cannot give you credit unless you accept it. You are allowed to demand a cash refund. Very good information to have. So my point is, I like called up the airline, right? And I'm like, hey. And they're like, okay, cool. You're going to be on hold for 3 hours. Fast forward 5 hours, I'm still not getting my call back because, like, you can schedule a callback. So I decide, fuck it. I'm going to the airport. I'll wait in the line. I'll cancel it there. I get to the airport. This line is a nightmare. I got to the airport at midnight. I think I left around 3. And I did get the cash refund for those who were wondering. Yes, my flight got canceled, but, like, dear God. And then I get home. I sleep for, like, 4 hours, and then I woke up at 7:30 because my body hates me. So, like, in short, Simon is cranky again. Anyway, now that my unhinged ramblings are out of the way, let's go over this is gonna work. So, as previously mentioned, part 1 in the description had like the first half of the stages. The second half of the stages are gonna be in this video. I'm gonna try and chapter it just like I did with part 1 and for my KBS Gayo videos, just so you can like look down at the time thing. What's it called? The timeline? The time bar? Whatever. The thing at the bottom. Like, you can look at that and be like, okay, cool. Here's who's in this video. Here's who I care about listening to Simon speak about. So, like, you'll figure it out. I have faith in you. However, there is one key difference between this and my normal videos. Normally when I do these videos, I use a Soompi article. When I took these notes, the Soompi article was not out. It is out now, but, like, I didn't take the notes based off it, and we're going in the order of the All K-Pop article, which I'm 99% sure is the same as the Soompi article, but, like, just in case, the All K-Pop article will be linked in the description that has all the stages so you can check it out, but, like, that's the order we're going in. Last thing before we get started, everything I say here is just an opinion. You can disagree with every word that comes out of my mouth. That is totally fine. If I say blank was the best stage of the night, you can sit here and be like, no, that was the worst stage of the night. If I'm like, I really hated this person's outfit, you can be like, no, I loved their outfit. I thought it was gorgeous. Like, we can disagree on literally everything I say in this video, and that's totally fine. Okay, cool. Now that we have all of that out of the way, let us actually get started. And first up, for this video at least, we have one of my favorite groups here. I would consider them my second favorite group here, the one and only TOOX. TOOX started out by doing a cover of DNA, which, a choice for sure. Like, hear me out. This is gonna sound really strange, but like, at the time it was released, I always thought DNA was like so generic and boring, which sounds nuts from a 2022 perspective, because like, we're getting a little off track, but I want to say it anyway. I feel like Bangtan's music in the past, like, really since Fake Love and Idol were, like, the last 2 titles that I felt like had any energy in them, any life. And, like, since then, it's been so generic and soulless. So, like, at the time, I was never the biggest DNA fan, which has colored my perception of it now, because when I think about DNA, I still think about it as this, like, somewhat generic kind of soulless pop song. But then I'll also remind myself that it's, like, they've since released, like, Permission to Dance and Butter and Dynamite, and like, by comparison, it's a marvel of a song. Anyway, all that to say, I enjoyed the song, so like, I was here for it. Plus, the choreo for DNA is pretty cool, so it had that going for it too. I do think the looks could have been improved upon a bit though. Like, If you didn't watch part 1, you missed me rant on several occasions about cohesive looks, because I've since realized that looks should be cohesive across a group. I don't know how I didn't realize this sooner, but like, it's my latest thing. So like, I ranted about it a lot. It applies here too. Like, each of the looks on their own are totally fine for the most part. There's one exception. I'm not going to name names, but I think you can figure it out if you know me. But like, for the most part, all the looks were great. However, they didn't go together, and it made the entire stage look a little disjointed to me. After that, they did Good Boy Gone Bad, which, if you didn't know, my least favorite Tux title. I'm not going to say by a wide margin, because it's not like by a wide margin, but I definitely don't enjoy the song. Also, they kept the non-cohesive looks, which I'm disappointed in, because if you ask me, in every other year-end thing they've done for 2022, they have looked phenomenal. Like, the Tux looks for the year-end things have been some of the best every time, for the most part. And like, for me at least, I'm a Bumgyu stan. Bumgyu has looked great in every single year-end thing, and he looked great here, don't get me wrong, but like, he could have looked better. That said, I will concede, the Good Boy Gone Bad choreo is very good, so like, it does have that going for it. Also, I need someone to teach Yeonjun how to lip sync to a laugh, because in my viewing experience, he's never gotten the laugh in Good Boy Gone Bad on point, and I wish he would. On to our first girl group of the video, which is the underrated queens from S9. They started out doing a remix of DM that was amazing. Like, it was so chill, but so sexy. I was feeling things, and also the choreo. I saw the face of God during this stage. I had a religious experience during this stage. Also, they looked so good. The black and red fits was such a moment. It was just all around perfection. After DM, they did Rewind, which was just another phenomenal stage. The song itself slaps, so like, there is that, but they also kept the looks that I loved, so it had that too. Plus, the choreo was going off, like, literally all around the stage was a moment. Before we close out From S9, I'm going to repeat what I said in my KBS Gayo video, which is that From S9 deserves to be so much more popular. They have done some of the best year-end performances for the Gayo so far, and they deserve the world, and I want them to have the #1 hits they deserve. Next up, we have ITZY, who started off by doing their newest and also floppest title, Chusher. Now, I've said before, but I will repeat in case you were unaware, I really like the song. It's one of their best titles if you ask me, so it had that going for it, but also the looks, gorgeous. Other than the backup dancers, I did not like their head things, but the members themselves looked amazing. The choreo for the song is also quite solid, and as previously mentioned, I really like the look, so I was really here for this entire stage. Closing out the stage, they did What I Want, which was actually a very fun performance, with the caveat that you view it as like a messy boots moment, because the choreo definitely could have given more if they wanted it to. ITZY is great dancers, so like, it definitely could have done a bit more. However, if you view it as just messy bootsness, then it's perfect, and you have so much fun with it, which is what I did, so I had fun. Up next, we have our 4th BTS cover of the evening, which was Sunghoon from ENHYPEN and Cha Jun Hwan doing a cover of Black Swan. Now, I will not deny, I don't really like this song, as previously mentioned from my ranting about the decline in Bangtan's title quality. Not my favorite, I think it's a bit boring, so like, not the biggest fan of the song. However, song aside for a minute, this cover was some true icon behavior. Like, this was quite possibly one of the most slay BTS covers of all time, and definitely the most slay of the evening, which I will remind you is actually a bit impressive because there were 4 of them, but like, the looks were so good. They looked incredible, and also the choreo was going the ever-living fuck off. Also, for what it's worth, Junhwan decided to do the biggest power move ever and showed up as a non-idol and outdanced like every idol in the room, and I feel like some of you should have been ashamed, because like, this man, not even in your actual industry, is outdancing the professional dancers who are in this industry, and it's a power move, although I am also biased because I do really like him. Also, this is gonna sound a little mean, but like, hear me out. I feel like HYBE sometimes makes their artists do a lot of BTS covers with the sole purpose of reminding us that BTS exists. Because like, I will repeat, there were 4 BTS covers this evening, not including the Tae Christmas Tree cover. Like, group-wide songs, there were 4 covers this evening, which feels excessive for any group. Like, I'm sorry. And I would also like to point out that all 4 of the BTS covers were done by HYBE artists. or at least had a HYBE artist contributing to it. Like, it's insane to me that we needed 4 BTS covers in a single evening, when I would like to point out no other boy group had their song covered. There was not an EXO cover, there was not a Big Bang cover, there was not a Super Junior cover, there were 4 Bangtan covers, and that feels a little ridiculous to me. Hello, it is I, Editing Simon. I realize that's actually not true. We had one other boy group cover. We had a cover of 17's Hot, which lasted approximately 54 seconds. Either way, though, next up, we have the BOYZ, and they started off with a dance break that had some just god-awful background music. It wasn't Tempest's level of bad, but, like, it was the second worst, which, still not great. The choreo was quite good, I will give them that. However, I have an issue when I watch the BOYZ do dance breaks, which is, as an ex-die-hard The BOYZ stan, I still really love them, but, like, I used to be down so bad for them, and, like, as someone who was like that, I can tell you, the BOYZ can own a choreo moment, which means that I now expect them to have some slay choreo every time they do choreo, and when the choreo doesn't slay, I get disappointed. After the dance break, they actually did a song, which was Whisper, and I don't like this song. I think it's really bad. It really annoys me. It does have very good choreo, I will give it that. And also, I did really like their looks for this stage for the most part. So, like, there was that too. However, this is a song that I can't get past. Like, there are songs out there where it's like, I don't like the song, but if the choreo does enough for a stage, I might watch it. Whereas with this one, like, I watched it, obviously, but, like, I'm never gonna watch it again with the volume on, because I just cannot get past this song. Moving on, next up we have another ex-fave group, which is ATEEZ, and they started off by doing New World, which, like, I don't love the song, and I feel like if you were gonna do another song off that album, I would have vastly preferred Cyberpunk, but whatever. That said, the fits with the robes, I was obsessed. I thought they looked so cool with the robes. I really like them. Spoiler alert, they changed out of the robes, but, like, I really wish they kept the robes, because I was just having a moment for them. As for the rest of the stage, it was fine. It wasn't anything super special. The song, for me, at the very least, is a little too shouty, so I didn't really love that, and the choreo wasn't giving as much as I would have liked, so, like, it had the robes going for it, but that's pretty much it. After that, they did a stage that was actually missing from the All K-Pop article. We are just conveniently lucky that it came on autoplay, because, like, I would open it up to YouTube to see the full title of the video just to see if there were multiple songs in it, and I have autoplay turned on, so it autoplayed to the Gorilla, which was the next stage, and, like, it was not in the All K-Pop article, so I'm going to link that one in the description too so you can check it out, but, like, their next song is Gorilla. That's the important part. Now, as previously mentioned, they changed out of the robes for this stage, and I'm disappointed because while I get it, like, this choreo definitely would have been pretty difficult to do in the full flowy robes, I didn't really like their looks underneath the robes, so I was not pleased. This song also hurts me, spiritually and just orally, so I don't really like it. It does have, this is another song where, like, the choreo's great, however, I can't get past the song, and I need my fave groups, or my former fave groups, if they want to get back to being a fave group, I need them to start releasing better titles. On to our next artist, a group that literally just fully embodies that entire thought process of please just release good music and I will stan you again, which is I-DLE. Now, to my surprise, I-DLE actually started off by doing Villain Dies, and they had a bit of a moment for this stage. Like, it was somewhat slaying because it had this whole chess theme going for it that I thought was really cool, and also, they looked great, so that didn't hurt. However, the song itself is not for me. It's not that it's a bad song, it's probably the better song they performed that night, but, like, it's a bit boring for my taste. I do think it can work as a live stage. I just think you really have to lean into the, like, darker, creepier vibes. Like, if you channeled, for those who didn't watch part 1, SSERAFIM's intro, very dark, very creepy. I feel like that's the vibes you need for this kind of song to really make it work. However, I did still enjoy the stage. I did still think it was pretty good. Next up, we had a dance break, and this is gonna sound so sad because the members were not actually part of this dance break. However, this was the best part of the stage. Like, I'm sorry. These backup dancers decided to wake up this morning and they chose to absolutely destroy everyone in that crowd. Like, they ate during this dance break. I want to call this the best dance break of the entire night. However, and it is. Don't get me wrong, it is. However, it also feels mean because, like, these are professional backup dancers doing this. Like, it's their entire job to dance. But, like, at the same time, it was an absolute moment. Either way, though, next up, they did Tomboy, and for those who are unaware, once more, I hate this song. I have a violent, passionate hatred for this song, like to the extent that this and Hype Boy are my two least favorite hits of 2022. They both drive me nuts with how bad they are, and I can't stand them. Song aside, this stage did actually have some things going for it that kept me engaged, to say the least. Like, first of all, they kept the same looks as the opening, which I already really liked, so there was that. And also, this time around, I was somewhat feeling the choreo. I've gone back and forth on the choreo for this song. This time around, I liked it, so it had that going for it too. However, the song itself, very much not for me. Moving on, next up, we have Stray Kids, and they started off by doing Christmas Evil, a song that surprised me because I forgot it existed after like January of 2022, so that was a nice reminder. The stage itself was fine. The song isn't as good as I remember, which was kind of disappointing. I remember enjoying it a lot when it came out, but like this time around I wasn't all that into it, which is kind of sad. Also, the choreo, it was good, but like it wasn't enough to really save the stage, if you ask me. Also, the fits, hear me out, okay? It's not that they were bad, because they weren't. However, for their Christmas moment, which now that I say this aloud, I don't know why Christmas Evil wasn't in the Christmas moment, but whatever. For their Christmas stages, they had these sweaters, and they looked so good and so soft, and it was such a moment, and I wish they kept the sweater looks, because I just really like sweater looks. Moving on, though, after that, they did Case 143, and I cannot explain in words why, but I'm obsessed with the giant heart. Like, there's just something about her that is slaying and serving, and I'm so here for it. Anyway, the song is fine. It's definitely not their best song, but it's far from their worst, so I will take it. The choreo, however, very much the shining moment. I really like the choreography for this song. I think it's great, so it does have that going for it. And the song is bearable, which for Stray Kids, I consider a win. Anyway, on to the next thing, which is the first little subsection of stages we have in this video, which I have dubbed Cover Hours Part 2, aka it's the big chunk of covers that the rookie girl groups did of big major girl groups. So starting us off, we had a little intro moment. It's like the rookie intro moment we had in the last video, so if you didn't watch that, you're a little confused, but it's like that. They basically all just show up, do a little bit of choreo, and then it moves on. Starting off this little section was IVE, and they did a little bit of an after-like moment, and we also are told they're covering Kara, which I obviously knew because I could see into the future of the stages, so like, I knew they were covering Kara, but like you learn it in the stage. Also, the fits, very cute, but we'll get to them. Then we have NMIXX who shows up, and NMIXX is doing How You Like That, and they do this like mix of How You Like That and Oh, and it works more than I want it to, and not in a good way, so there's that. Also, I felt the need to share, I was looking at my notes, because I'm reading notes for this video. I spelled mix with 2 X's, like not the mix and NMIXX, like the word mix. They did a mix of How You Like That and Oh. I spelled mix with 2 X's. I wanted to share. Anyway, after that SSERAFIM showed up, we are told they're covering The BOYZ by Girls' Generation. And lastly, NewJeans comes by, and they're going to be covering Tell Me by Wonder Girls, and the NewJeans section immediately goes into their actual cover. So let's discuss the NewJeans cover. Now, I feel a need to remind you, for what must be like the 10th time in the history of this channel, watching NewJeans makes me uncomfortable. I've ranted about it in the past, we're not going to get into it. The core issue is they look very young and it makes me uncomfortable to watch them. So we're, as always, going to be very speedy with them. Firstly, the fits were awful, like just horrendous. However, the choreo was quite good. My only thing with it, they somehow managed to make Tell Me seem soulless. And whilst I understand that is the NewJeans brand, the NewJeans brand of music is soulless and generic and boring and bad. But Tell Me is a song that I've heard, and I know it has life to it, so I'm very confused what happened. Anyway, I have nothing else to say about NewJeans, so let's move on. Next up is the combo that I was by far the most excited for, which was IVE covering Pretty Girl by Kara. Now, for those who don't know, I love Kara's discography. I think that in 2022, Kara has such an underappreciated discography. Like, when I got into K-pop in 2015, we at least listened to Kara. Nowadays, the girlies don't know about Mister. They don't know about Step. They don't know about Pandora. So, like, I just feel like seeing Kara getting the respect they deserve. Like, because when you think about the groups on this list, right, they did Blackpink, Girls' Generation, Wonder Girls, and Kara. And seeing Kara on that list just made me so happy, even if realistically they probably should have been replaced with Twice. That said, this cover was amazing. I loved it. I've already mentioned the fits when we were doing the intro. They're so cute. They looked so good. I really liked them. Plus, the song itself is such a bop. And also, the choreo was great. So I was really just thriving all around throughout the stage. After that, we had SSERAFIM come and do The BOYZ, and they slayed this performance. Right off the bat, I want to mention the random Fearlesses worked way better than they should. Like, I don't know what was going on, but that was some demon work right there. Like, it was a power move and I loved it. Speaking of things I loved, let's discuss the fits. They looked so good. I was obsessed. Plus, the choreo was great, and hear me out. I feel like this was like just the most defining final touch that made the stage perfect for me. The background was the gate from the BOYZ music video, and I felt like that was a really nice added moment, and I really liked that. Lastly, for this little mini moment, is the cover of the only song I didn't like, which is How You Like That being covered by NMIXX. Now, this was my least favorite of these covers because, as previously mentioned, I don't like the song, so that inherently brought it down. I also wasn't the biggest fan of the outfits, and I didn't really like the choreo. So just, this stage was really not for me, although I am sure a lot of people very much enjoyed it. We now have another little chunk of stages, which was kicked off by the BOYZ covering 17, 17, 71. I really hope there were enough 17s in there, but like, it's by Jaurim, which is a song that I've never heard, and it's definitely a song. Like, it's just not my style of music, so I wasn't the biggest fan of it. However, I was a big fan of the looks. First of all, Jacob, very cute, very much here for it. Also, as previously mentioned, I love a sweater look, so I inherently liked Hyunjae's fit as well. Then, Jaurim came out, and they, along with the BOYZ, performed Hey Hey Hey. Now, once more, this is a song I'd never heard, and once more I will just simply describe it as a song because they're just not really making a style of music that I personally enjoy, so I'm not really a big fan of it. After that, the BOYZ members left and Jaurim stayed, and they did some Christmas songs, starting off with Mr. Claus, which, definitely not my favorite Christmas song. Closing out this little mini moment, they did If It Snows on Christmas Day, which, another Christmas song, another one that isn't really my favorite. Like, personally, I'm a pop girly. I prefer my Christmas songs poppier, however, these weren't bad by any means. On to the final section of stages, which are the NCT stages, and all the NCT members walk out, and I feel like they made a mistake here that I'm going to get to later, but like, keep in mind they all walked out together, and therefore their outfits were all coordinated with each other. I think you could figure out where the issue is, but we'll get to it later. All you need to know is that 127 then left, so Dream could stay and do glitch mode. Also, before we continue, I want to address something, and by address something, I mean make subtle threats of violence, because I was on Twitter recently, because I'm always on Twitter, and I saw like this whole thread of tweets. And it was about how the graduation video is announcing Dream's graduation, like the members' graduation from Dream, and that NCT Dream is going to disband. And I want to make it abundantly clear, both from a business standpoint and personally, there will be blood in the streets. I will burn the building down with Isuman locked up inside. I will kill people if Dream disbands. Like, I will lose my entire mind, and I'll be one of the sane ones. So, like, I can't imagine SM is that bad at business, but I also have no faith of them. So, like, I wanted to say that. Threats of violence aside, as previously mentioned, Dream stayed to do glitch mode, and it's a fine experience, I guess. I still don't really like this song. The choreo is good, but I just constantly prefer beatbox to it because it's a song that I like more, aka it's a song that I actually enjoy. As for the fits, let's discuss them because, as I was saying earlier, NCT 127 and NCT Dream pretty much coordinated their fits, which I get. If you're going to do the stages back-to-back and you have Mark and Haechan in both units, you do need to have it be possible for them to, like, go from one stage to the other very quickly. And I did like the black and white looks that they had when they were walking out. However, I feel like they could have done it like this. I had a vision when I was watching these stages. They should have taken Dream and given Dream all black and given NCT 127 all white, or vice versa. It's fine either way. I just feel like that way, because the looks weren't bad. They just felt a little bit uncohesive again, which I feel like could have been benefited from by giving them each their own color. Also, if you were wondering my Mark and Haechan solution, give them reversible jackets. Black on the inside, white on the outside, or the other way around, whichever one they need. It could have worked. It's fine though, none of this matters because next up, after glitch mode, they did Candy. Now for context, I've heard Candy approximately 800,000 times since it came out around a week ago. I'm obsessed with this song. I love it so much. It fills me with a level of joy that I cannot describe with words. All you need to know is that I'm obsessed with this song. I've watched every stage of it multiple times, including some fan cams, and I'm just in love with it. Also, Renjun continued to be the shining star. I think Renjun is thriving during this era because he's just naturally a very cute human, and the choreo for this song is so cute that he just thrives in it. Both of my favorite moments in the choreography are Renjun moments, my specific favorite being when he and Jaemin come out and then they do a little cute moment together that they change every stage they've done. This was also my favorite with him like squishing Jaemin's face. I just really liked it. Alas, all good things must come to an end, and unfortunately the Candy stage did eventually end, and After watching it roughly 4 more times, I did also move on, so let us as a video also move on to the final group performance of this entire experience, NCT 127. They start off by doing Faster, which has definitely grown on me as an idea of like an opening stage for two baddies. I do think it does work as the sort of beginning, even if I'm not the biggest fan of the song. Also, I'm not gonna say Taeyong exudes the energy that I wish I exuded during my high school whore phase, but I'm also not gonna say he doesn't, and I'm gonna let you take all of this information as you wish. Either way, though, after Faster, they did unfortunately do two baddies, and I say unfortunately because for those who are unaware, this song literally triggers my depression as well as triggering my fight or flight. I hate pretty much everything about it. The only parts that I don't despise in this stage are A, the fact that they can't say Porsche on television. They did this for the KBS Gayo too, and I found it funny there, but like, they can't say Porsche, so they have to say two baddies, one squad. I think that's very funny. And also, I had a deep spiritual relationship to the girl who screamed every time Haechan was in the center. She was a bestie. Like, I just know we divide and talk about Haechan a lot, so like, she gets credit. Moving on, we have reached the very last stage of this entire Gayo, which is everyone singing the icon that is All I Want for Christmas Is You by the queen herself, Miss Mariah Carey. Now, I love this song. I listen to this song year-round. I adore this song. And whilst nothing was happening on this stage, I still consider it a win because the song is inherently a win. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your favorite stage down below. Let me know what you thought about everything I had to say. You can also like and subscribe if you want to or don't. I will be okay either way. And if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter at @_ATEEZ. I will link that in the description along with the All K-Pop article that has all the stages, the ATEEZ Gorilla stage that was missing, and also part 1, so you can watch part 1. So you can check all those out if you so choose. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!